Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Come on into the room. Join me for a quick little conversation. My name is Tina Wafer, and I am your life enthusiast. I am the founder and CEO of a work in progress designed to help families discover their God given gifts and talents and come together as a family unit in order to take those talents and figure out a way to monetize them by starting family businesses, becoming entrepreneurs, encouraging you all to be employers versus employees, and making some real changes in our generation so that we don't have to start over. Our kids don't have to start over from the bottom. They'll have something to build on. Welcome, Wade Hampton. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome, my friend Mika. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, Miss Tina. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to jump right in and make a comment. Hello, Greg. Welcome. Welcome. I am going to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about our mentality, our spending mentality, and some of the things that have been the downfall of my people. I'm going to speak from the perspective of what I know. I am a black woman. I did grow up in a small town with very few opportunities, and I am familiar with living from month to month, check to check, and never really having enough to do the things that I needed to do. So a lot of times what we do is we rob Peter to pay Paul, and we make do with what we have. So what happens is that when tax season rolls around, hey Treese, when tax season rolls around, it is one of the very few opportunities for us to have a lump sum of money to be able to do something with. And what happens is that because we do without so many things for so long, once we get a hold of that money, the first thing we think about is purchasing all of those things that we have been unable to purchase for ourselves and our children throughout the year. But we make unwise decisions when it comes to finances. Now, I will be the first to say that I am not an expert in finances, not by a long shot. A lot of what I have learned has been through trial and error, but it has also been through consulting with experts on things to do. And so I want to share some of that information with you. The first thing I want to talk about is being smart. And like I said, because we go so long doing without things, some necessities and some wants, and having to tell our children no, we can't afford it so many times, is that when we finally get an opportunity to have a couple of extra dollars in our pocket, that we try to go out and make up for the times when we were doing without. And we get our hair done and our nails done and new clothes and new shoes and a bunch of stuff that has really no value. Okay, because you will find that wealthy people do not spend that way. They just do not care about name brands as much as they care about quality and something that is going to last. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this thing called a ghetto mentality. And I have heard a lot of people use that term, and what I understand it to mean is that we have this way of doing things. I'm not going to call it a ghetto. I'm going to say people from disadvantaged circumstances. We have a way of doing things that is very, very different from others. For example, if I want a TV, I will go to Rent-A-Center or Aaron's or some other rent-to-own place. And in my mind, I will say to myself, I can afford $20 a week, whatever the price may be. I can afford $20 a week, And so if I can pay $20 a week or $100 a month or whatever, then I can have that TV that I want. Well, we don't sit down and calculate, first of all, how much would this TV cost if I paid cash for it? So let's say if this TV costs $300 if I pay cash, right? But Rent-A-Center is going to give it to me for however much a week, however much a month. And in my mind, I figure that my budget can handle that. But what I should do is calculate how much I'm going to end up paying for that TV in the end. So first of all, I'm going to be paying a note for about 12 months. And I'm going to be paying a note on something that is decreasing in value every minute that I have it. I'm going to be paying for something that if something happens with my finances and I am no longer able to pay for it, now I'm going to lose it. And I may possibly lose all of the money that I have put into it. We don't think about those things. But that's what we need to be thinking. We need to be thinking past today and past next week and thinking about the long term. So, hi, Stephanie. Thank you for joining me. Also, Monica, thank you guys for joining. I'm just talking a little bit about tax season coming up and some smarter ways of spending our money during the tax season. So once again, talking about this TV that we want, right? So if you say to yourself, I can handle $100 a month for this TV, then the smart thing to do would be to take $100 a month and save it for 3 months. Do without the TV for 3 months. And take $300 cash and go and purchase it, and it's yours free and clear. And now it is a bit of an asset because let's say you lose your job, or something happens and, you can't make there is no note, so you're not going to lose it. And it's something that you may possibly be able to sell to get some money to take care of your needs if that's what you have to do. Okay? So discipline, self-discipline. Do without something for a little while. Save that monthly note that you were going to pay to rent it, and take that money and go and pay cash for it. And the same thing applies to cars. Man, something that hurts my heart is to see a single mom with children who is struggling financially to get a little piece of money. And let's say she gets $2,000, right? So she'll take that money and go and put a down payment on a really nice vehicle. A vehicle that she probably, under normal circumstances would never be able to afford. And she purchases this vehicle. She uses her tax money as a down payment. So now she has reliable transportation, but she has increased her expenses because now she has to pay full coverage insurance. She can't get just liability, because when you're still paying for the car, you have to completely cover it. You got to pay for full coverage insurance, and you have this car note. So you've made your next year worse than better. Instead of using that money to maybe pay off something that you've been making a monthly payment on, paying it off so that you save the interest and your expenses are now less. Instead of doing that, we'll take it and we'll go and purchase something that has now increased our expenses. Not a smart move at all. Whereas if you do one of a few things, first thing you want to do is you want to not make a purchase during tax season, because don't get it twisted. The people who are selling cars and whatever else you're trying to buy with your tax money, they know that you've got some money now. And so prices are going to be very different from when, it's off season. So hold your money. Put it in a bank account. If you can put it in a bank account and leave it there for 30 days, it will actually improve your credit score and make you, possibly have a better chance of going to make a purchase somewhere and not having to purchase from a rent-a-center or whatnot, being able to make a purchase and financing something, at a lower interest rate because you have improved your credit. Self-discipline. You have to be able to discipline yourself so as to make wise decisions financially. So don't purchase when everybody else is purchasing, everybody else has got the money, and every all of the retailers are feeding off the fact that you have some extra money to spend. Okay, so if you wait until after tax season, and during that time, take that time to find you a cash car. Go online, Craigslist, or I don't know, Auto Trader. I'm sure there are a ton of websites that you can go to find a vehicle. You don't even have to find a vehicle that's local. There are places who will ship the vehicle to you. It may be cheaper for you to jump on a bus and go to, a larger city and make a purchase. But you can pay cash for a reliable vehicle that may not look the best or be the newest, or is not going to get you all the rah compliments that you might get for having purchased a new vehicle. But it's a vehicle that nobody will be able to take away from you, because you can't make the note. It'll be a vehicle that you'll be able to sell if you find yourself in a bind. You'll be able to put just liability insurance on it because it's your vehicle. A lot of things will be smart, guys. Be smart. Do not take that money and put a down payment on something when you can use that same down payment and pay cash and pay for something straight out. Hey, Yvette, thank you for joining me. So, being disciplined, holding on to that money for just a little while will make all the difference in the world. When you go into a place to make a purchase and you have cash money, you have negotiation power. You don't have to necessarily pay what the sticker says. You don't have to necessarily purchase from the first place you see. You can shop around. Take your time. Spend your money wisely. Hey, Jen, take your time and spend your money wisely. Don't just go out and spend your money on a bunch of stuff that you're not going to be able to afford in a few months. Understand that doing without, for a little while can ensure that when you do make a purchase, you'll make a wise purchase, and you'll make a purchase of something that you can hold on to for a while. Stop caring about what other people think and say. Care more about what you got going on in your life and your household, and making sure things are good for you and your kids and your family. So, yes, having a nice car is a wonderful thing. But the truth of the matter is that even people with money, know that it's not a smart thing to buy a brand new car, because it depreciates as soon as you pull it off the lot. And when I say depreciate, for some people who may not understand, let me just break it down. It loses value. As soon as you purchase it and drive it off the lot, that new car becomes worth less than you paid for it. So let somebody else eat that cost. Same thing with your jewelry. I remember my first husband, when he wanted to buy an engagement ring for me, he was thinking of a few different places to go and make purchases. And I was like, go to the pawn shop. Go buy it from the pawn shop. That's because in my mind, what difference does it make where you purchase it from? Get it for the best price. Why would I care if it's used or if somebody else has had it? Because diamonds, jewelry, those type of things don't depreciate in value. They appreciate in value. They increase in value. And the markup on diamonds is 500%. 500% markup. So what I'm saying to you is that if the jeweler purchased it for $1, they're going to sell it to you for $500, which means when you get ready to sell it, it'll be worth that $1, not the $500. And of course, I'm using a really small number, but you understand what I'm saying. Go to the pawn shop and purchase it for the $1, instead of buying it brand new and paying the retail price for it. Just doesn't make sense. I learned long ago, way back when I was working in the shipping department at Wellens in Alexandria, Louisiana. And back then, the thing was Calvin Klein jeans. And Calvin Klein jeans were $32 a pair. And, that was expensive back then. I mean, to have a pair of Calvin Klein jeans, you were, on top of the world. You were somebody. But after I worked there and saw that Wellens was paying $2 a pair and reselling for $32 a pair. And I made up my mind at that point that I would not pay full price for anything ever again. I'm just going to wait until they mark it down and mark it down and mark it down, and I'm going to figure out a way to at least get it for, $10. If they're still going to be making a profit, I mean, you have to ask yourself, when they put things on clearance and all of a sudden this item that cost $32 is now $4, how are they making any money? Because they only paid $2, so they're still doubling their money, and they've made a whole lot of profit out of those people who wanted to get it as soon as it made it to, as soon as it got onto the shelves, they wanted to make the purchase. But we have to be smarter about our purchases. Hey, Coach, how are you? Thank you for joining me. Just talking a little bit about tax season and how we're going to spend our money this tax season. We have to be smarter. We have to be wiser. We have to show some self-discipline. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to cover. Like I said, do something that is going to make your life easier over the next 12 months, not something that is going to make things even worse. Do not do something that's going to cause your expenses to increase. Pay something off so that you have less money coming out now, or I don't know. You can come up with some ways. I don't know your finances in detail. I know mine, and I know that there are a lot of ways that I could cut back if I had a few extra dollars on hand. The other thing is, it is a perfect time to start a business. If you start a business, and let's just say that you're one of those people who loves to shop. You just love to shop. You love to shop. You shop when you're sad. You shop when you're happy. You're an impulse shopper. You enjoy shopping. Well, guess what? Maybe you need to become a personal shopper, and then you can make some money off what you're doing, and you can shop. You satisfy your shopping needs without going deep into debt. But once again, tax season is a great time to take that money and invest it into yourself. Maybe you want to pay for a class that you have never been able to afford before, a class that's going to change your mindset and change the way that you see things, a class that is going to make you more valuable, feeding into yourself versus making frivolous purchases for things that mean nothing, that do not increase your value, things that you could probably get for a fraction of the price if you bought it secondhand. No one would ever know. You know what I mean? Be smarter, guys. We have to use that money to invest into ourselves and use it maybe to start a business. If you are a great cook, why wouldn't that be a great time to start a catering service? You got your startup money. There's something that you can do from home. Let's say that you are great at cutting hair. Maybe you want to use that money to take a barber class. What I'm saying is that use the money to make yourself more valuable instead of things that they're going to last for a little while. They're not going to be worth anything. It's not something that's going to help you in the long run. We have to be smarter about spending our money. So once again, I just wanted to jump on for a few moments and just share some thoughts with you on how we are going to spend our tax money. We are going to be smarter. We're not going to go and buy the hair that, get the hairdo that we're not going to be able to keep up in the next few months. get our nails done so that we're not even able to type on our jobs and or do the things that we need to do with our hands, or something that's going to slow you down. You know what I mean? Go out there and buy that outfit, that pay full price for it, because you've got that money, when normally you would shop for a bargain, or you would put it on layaway and pay for it a little at a time, or you would show some discipline. You have to learn how to do the same thing when you have a few dollars in your pocket. Once again, I say that tax season is not the best time to spend that money, because the retailers know that you have some disposable cash, and they are going to be making their prices so as to get that money out of your pocket. Put that money aside, save it. Take your time and find what you want online, or look around, or ask others, or wait for the other knuckleheads who didn't watch my live to go out and make a dumb purchase, and in a few months they're going to have to sell that same item because they can't pay for it anymore. And that's the time for you to withdraw your money from the bank, the money that has now increased your credit score because it's been sitting there. The money that is going to go much farther now because you're making a wise purchase versus just satisfying a need because you have been doing without things for so long. I understand, living in a place where there are not a lot of opportunities, but I can say to you that you're not limited to where you live. You can go online and make a purchase from anywhere in the world. You can jump on a bus and go to a bigger city and spend your money much wiser. Once again, be more disciplined, guys, and don't find yourself looking real good, feeling real good during the first couple of months of tax season, and in the middle of the year we see you stuck in the same boat or worse than you were beforehand. Okay? So that's my word for the day. Spend your money wiser. Hold on to your money. Be more disciplined. Use that money to start a business and start building a legacy for your family that you can be proud of. Once again, my name is Tina Wafer, and I am your life enthusiast. You can find me on Instagram at Tina_life_enthusiast. You can also find me on Facebook at A Work in Progress Tina. And I have a business page, A Work in Progress, as well, where you will find a lot of motivational quotes and videos, things that can help you get through some of the things that you may be going through in your life. I'm here to help. Give me a holler. You guys have a wonderful day now. Bye-bye.